Hey guys, Letter Magic here, and it's finally time for some spoilers. We didn't get a whole lot of them over the weekend, so I thought I'll just hold off till today, and we have barely enough to make one video. But first, of the many leaks I've seen, I think at this point I've seen 2 digital sources and 3 physical shots from different sources, different people allegedly, that all leaked these cards. 5 separate leaks for one set, Wizards. What the hell? Anyway, here's one of them. We finally have a not-so-blurry shot of Chandra, Heart of Fire. I was voting for Hat of Fire, but nope, it's Heart. Hat would have been way cooler, but, actually Larry's got the record for the coolest Planeswalker hat, because it's just a smoky little, windsock going on. Anyway, we can finally clearly see what this actually says. It's a 5 for 5, +1, discard your hand, then exile the top 3 cards of your library until end of turn. You may play cards exiled this way. So, that's cool. She costs 5. I wouldn't really put her in like a burn, like traditional burn deck, but in like a good mid-range red deck, that'll be amazing. And anything that promotes mid-range red instead of like turn 4 red, I'm all for it, just saying. Then we've got another +1. She deals 2 damage to any target. Okay, pretty good. Putting removal on a plus, I thought we've been through that with Oko, but sure. And then -9, search your graveyard and library for any number of red instant and or sorcery cards, exile them, then shuffle your library. You may cast them this turn, add 6 red mana, which I thought they were supposed to spell out, or maybe they had a policy if it's above 3 or something. They changed something with that recently. I just don't remember which direction it went. So you still have to pay for them, but you get like a +6 starting point. I think that's actually pretty fair. This is appropriately costed, appropriately balanced. I don't like it when removal's on a plus, but it's not very good removal. And if she's pinging your life total directly by 2, and they're playing red, and it's already at least turn 5 to get her out, probably later, that could be bad, and then immediately you have to hit her for 6 to get rid of her, otherwise they're going to +1 her again. So it's like, that really probably should have been -1. Bare minimum, it could have been 0. I feel like +1, they go a little far. Very far from Oko, though, which would turn a 12/12 into a 3/3 vanilla elk. Next up, we have Bad Deal, and let me just say, yes, it is. I did read this one ahead of time. It's a 6-cost sorcery in black. You draw 2 cards, and then each opponent discards 2 cards. Okay. And then each player, so you and them, loses 2 life. When would you absolutely guaranteed want all 3 of those to happen and be a benefit to you? They just combined 3 different cards and made it cost 6. I don't really get it. Free cards is cool, and like a lifelink deck would be cool, but 6 is so high. If this cost 4, I'd be like, yeah, good card. I don't know, this just doesn't strike me as that great. The power level of any card that starts at Mind Rot and then adds to it, though, it's certainly far from weak. So next up we got Carrion Grub. It's a 0/5 for 4. Interesting. It's an insect subtype. Okay. And it gets +X/+O, so +X attack, where X is the greatest power among creature cards in your graveyard. Okay. And when it enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. This could be devastating, but I don't know if it'll ever get off the ground with the amount of graveyard hate we're about to see, as Wizards pretends to fix everything they broke involving the graveyard. Hint, hint, Tormod's Crypt is in here. It's a 0-drop, and it's colorless. And next we've got one that I'm definitely doing a second take of, because my gosh, did I say that incorrectly. Okay, it is Filo Consagrado Veterano. I was like full-blown, like I'd like to order a Quizadilla at the first take on that one. Can I get a chicken fajita with extra jalapenos? Gracias, amigo. Anyway, that's obviously Consecrated Veteran. This card's pretty wild, too. It's a 3/1 human warrior, so we already got a little something going on with that. In multiple sets, actually. Ones that aren't rotating, too, in 4 months. And then if you discard a card, which, let me remind you can't do forever, and then tap it, so there's that, it gains indestructible till end of turn. So that is terrifically useful if you have to do it in the middle of combat when he's already tapped. So I hate stuff where it's like, pay 1 mana and it gains hexproof, indestructible, and shroud until end of turn. It's like, you're never getting rid of that, ever. You target it with anything that got 1 mana, you're screwed. This one, yeah, it's kind of like Trawler, which is complete and utter ass cancer, but you can still exile him, okay? This is so much more fair than, hexproof, because at least you can target him with something. Turn him into a frog, strap a pacifism to him. There are solutions. Also, he's only a 3/1 and isn't flying and doesn't have lifelink, and God, Trawler was a mistake. So it's like, yeah, do we really need another Trawler on the ground? It's a 3/1. And they're going to lose an entire card to make it indestructible, and then still you might be able to get rid of it. You ain't going to kill it in combat. I'm a little bit worried about that constantly getting hit for 3, but I would just say it's a really, really, really exceptionally good, powerful card. Kind of borderline going too far, but, you know, whatever. Oh, and the flavor text is, I don't know if something every battle, but I have something. I feel like I should know that word. It's only 2 letters. And that calls me until where this always. I'm sure that was translated correctly. I assume venceré is supposed to be win, even though I thought it was ganar, but whatever. It's probably based on the word victory instead of the word gain or whatever. And I did get one of those words wrong. Okay, so if I were to just guess at what the ballpark of this is, it's something in the neighborhood of I don't know if I'll win every battle, but I have faith and that has like brought me or sent me or whatever to where I am now. Something like that. You get the gist of it. Next up, we got this dope looking book artifact here. And if my knowledge of traditional Chinese is accurate, that's Mark's Big Book of Memes. Oh, it's Mark Rosewater's giant book of dank memes. Cool. So it's a 2-drop artifact, and if you tap it, you can put a page counter on this card and then scry 1. Okay. And then if you pay 2 and tap it, you can put a page counter on this book and then draw a card. Boy, 2 and tap to draw a card. That's already pushing it, especially in, you know, not blue. And then whenever Mark's Big Book of Memes has 4 or more page counters on it, exile it, and then when you do, you gain 4 life. So you can only use it 4 times, but then you gain life. This is like a really, really, really good saga that you can like put the pause on if you don't have the mana for it. This just looks way too good. I mean, card draw is out of control in basically every deck, every color right now. And now they're adding a colorless source of card draw. I mean, geez, come on. Next up, we've got Fungal Rebirth. It's a 3-cost green instant, and you return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Good, because the battlefield would be broken. Wonder if they've learned that yet. If a creature died this turn, then create 2 1/1 green Sapperling creature tokens. Oh boy, Sapperlings are back. Yay. I mean, bringing it back to your hand for 3 mana is like whatever, cool. You get access to it again. You still got to cast it again, and then bringing it back directly to the from the graveyard to the battlefield is just inherently broken if you don't put a limit on it. So this is in the middle. You get 2 Sapperlings, hopefully. So then at least you get something out of it. Brings it right back to where it should be. Next up, we got Guadaña Malefica. No es difícil, solo estoy cansada. So it's a 2-cost black artifact. Colored artifacts, awesome. They said they'll be doing more of those. And it is, Maleficent Scythe, by the way. And it enters the battlefield with a soul counter on it. And then equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each soul counter on Maleficent Scythe. And then whenever equipped creature dies, put a soul counter on Maleficent Scythe. So not when it kills or destroys target creature, because that'd be hard to track, kind of, because there's no real rules for that. It's just whenever whoever's using it dies, which I don't like that. I would rather it be however many creatures it kills. It would almost have to be phrased like whenever an opponent's creature dies, like as a result, maybe, or like, and this turn, this creature or equipped creature did at least 1 point of damage to it, then get a soul, counter, and then they'd just be ripping off the Shivering Isles expansion for Oblivion. So, I mean, it's a 2-drop and it's equip 1. So, I mean, you're going to toss this thing around. So, I mean, this could get really out of control by, like, the middle to end of the game. I actually really like this. It's a slow build-up. It gives people an appropriate amount of time to respond, but it's also extremely powerful. And it actually does make sense to not make it legendary because there was no, like, game-wide trigger that would make this work. And my gosh, equipment hasn't been a thing in the meta for so damn long, I actually had to look up this rule, which is pretty embarrassing. But you can equip 2 of these to the same creature. So, I mean, there's a thing, but other than that... So, yeah, I mean, you could, even with, like, 1 creature in play and 2 or 3 of these in play, you could do some damage. So they're going to have to actually get rid of these. And when the creature dies, this doesn't go with it, like an aura. So, like, this is really, really, really good. That mixed with that stupid thing where when the creature dies, all the counters go onto that and then you drop it on something else that never should have been printed. Yeah, you're just going to dominate the game over and over and over with 1 creature in play. So, I don't know if this was the right time to print that, but the Ozolith, or whatever the hell it's called, was a mistake. So, next up, we've got Necromentia. It's a double black sorcery, so I'd say, devotion, except it's a sorcery. But that seems to be a theme with this one. A lot of stuff is very color-locked. I guess they realized that 3-color decks are kind of broken. So they want to take good, powerful cards and make them much, much harder to cast early game. So, sorcery speed, choose a card name other than a basic land card name, then search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name and exile them. Nice. That player shuffles their library, then creates a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each card exiled from their hand this way. Oh, just their hand, I was going to say. They usually add the in-hand compensation, because if it's in hand and you lose it, like, that's going too far, and it is, mathematically. Still doesn't affect ones in play, and I wouldn't expect it to for 3 mana, but just it would be nice if it did. But by the way, it said basic land card name, so you can't name island, but you can certainly say Steam Vents. You could certainly say Maze's End, but I mean, okay, let's be realistic here. You're going to say Witch's Oven. Anything that you can pull out of your sideboard and just immediately say, screw you, you're not winning with the same card, same combo every freaking game, get a more flexible deck, I can get behind that. That said, this should cost 3 colorless. The fact that you have to be running black to run this, very annoying. Should be open to everybody. If your deck can't survive losing one of its cards, then your deck is stupid, gimmicky glass cannon garbage. It's boring, repetitive, and nobody's having fun. Like, if you go to my Black Devotion and name Grey Merchant, I don't care, I'm going to win anyway. Would I like to play Grey Merchant? Yes. Do I win without Grey Merchant the majority of the time? Yes. So next up, we got a crazy card here. It's Rewind. So it's a 4-cost universal counterspell, counters anything, and then untap up to 4 lands. Yeah. So it's a free counter spell as long as you have 4 open. So you have to hold the 4 open, which is the majority of the problem. You usually, after you've spent the 4, don't care or don't need or want it back. But if you have a whole handful of counter spells, I mean, use this one first, I guess? I mean, a counter spell that effectively costs 0, I don't like it, obviously. That's pretty unfair, but you have to have the 4. You have to prove you have it. So, I don't know. They're really playing with fire on this one, and let's just say there's other ways to generate mana than by tapping lands, so you might be able to do something really degenerate with this, but it's really hard to say. I know you could do some crazy, like, ramping combo with, like, a double Nykthos drop, but that's not exactly in standard. So next up we got Megalodon con Pues. Actually, that's Puas. So that's obviously translated to Megalodon with a side of fries, and it's a 7-cost creature shark common, okay, with permanent natural hexproof, or anti-maleficio. In other words, keep your filthy Maleficent hands off of my anti-maleficio card. Getting harsh with some of those alternate language hexproof terms. Anyway, it says whenever Megalodon with the side of fries attacks, scry 1. This is just plain crazy good, even though it's only a 5/7 for 5. I mean, as far as hitting for 5 goes, sure. I mean, it's kind of more of a draft card, which is funny because it's common. Would I mainboard this? Maybe with something to help it out. Maybe in like an aura deck, maybe in an equipment deck. I don't know. I mean, blue artifacts isn't really a thing, despite it totally should being a thing. Or however a normal person who's not half asleep would say that. But overall, it gets a Me Gusta out of 10. Next up, we got Tidal Whale, a.k.a. your mom. Oh, burn. And there she is, sucking up all the fish into her gaping maw like it's Discount Wednesday at the Golden Corral. Your mother sickens me, everyone. By the way, there's a YouTube video called something like the most disgusting displays of gluttony you've ever seen, like from a subreddit where it was for people who work at buffets. And there was like 12 stories, and all I gotta say is, oh my gosh. Some people are f***ed up. Some people are weird as shit and got some problems. Anyway, shout out to whoever's piloting that ship on top of the whale's head. You're very brave and very stupid. But most importantly, you're living life to the extreme. This video has been sponsored by Monster Energy Drink. Just kidding. Don't drink our diabetes heart attack water. Anyway, this creature is a whale, which we already knew your mom was. It's a 7-cost, and it's a 7/7. And creatures your opponents control get -1 attack and -0 toughness, which is amazing. I love that effect. So good. Dampening field. Where my dampening fans at? AKA the dirty dampers. If you pay 2, discard Tidal Whale from your hand, I assume they mean. Look at the top 2 cards of your library and then put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. Oh, so it's like super cycling. Okay, who out there knows damn well what I'm going to say next? Maybe they should have called it Mega Cycling. But then that crazy trans bitch at Wizards would have to threaten to report me to HR because you're not allowed to use the word mega anymore because it's a shot at her sexuality somehow. Because everybody made fun of her because of that name. The community was super mean that I just tacked the word mega onto it. Boo who? I'm gonna report you to HR. Yeah, whatever you say, Karen. Anyway, I like mega cycling. I mean, you give you an option of 2 instead of just blindly drawing 1. Why not? What the hell? I love it. Plus, the other one goes in your graveyard and might be able to do shit with this. So you pull this early game, you just pay 2, and you've got a double cycle effect. I mean, this is amazing. Get a card you actually need, stack your graveyard. I mean, damn, like, this is a good card. Also, double devotion, just throwing that out there. So that is all of the spoilers today. Still, it would seem, from what I'm hearing, that, like, literally 1 to 2 people were able to take advantage of that alleged glitch on MTG Arena. And then out of fear of Wizards repercussions, they are just super on the download right now. So I'm still standing by. It happened, okay? It just didn't get a whole lot of press because the couple people that bought the Liliana thing day 1 this early and then like didn't know to not try to open the packs because everybody knows you can't open them yet. Anybody who's bought it before. So the tiny pool of people that bought it in exactly that window before they issued the second patch that day and then didn't leave the packs alone, like almost on accident tried to open one, then noticed they could open it. None of them felt like screenshotting everything and leaking it on the internet when it could be traced back to them and they could get banned or sued, you know? So my evidence for this was the second that they said, hey, there's a game update, I said, what's going on? And everyone, like 10 plus people in my chat simultaneously on my live stream said they accidentally let people open M21 packs. Multiple people instantly said that. When multiple people instantly say something live, you tend to take their word for it. So I don't think they all spontaneously made it up or knew that that message would pop up just that second and somehow planned it ahead of time to, haha, we're fooling Des. As far as I'm concerned, it happened, okay? Multiple sources. But it happened to so few people that some, like, individual, it could have even just been one person said, hey, did you guys know these are openable? And then so more few people wanted to, you know, drop $50 to test this alleged rumor that's probably a troll where they're like, haha, you just tricked me into spending $50 and I can't actually open them. I totally believe you. And if any of them did legitimately try it because they were going to buy it anyway, then they also didn't leak the cards online because they know Wizards would be up their ass. They could easily track who opened them. I mean, it's their own glitch, but like if you use a nickname online that's similar to your nickname on Arena, they're going to know it's you and they're going to come after you, even though it's, you know, once again, their own glitch. Now, the one thing that I have to doubt this is then that would mean the art assets are for the cards are already in the game, which means you could just rip apart the asset file. But maybe it's encrypted. I don't know how they do things. I just would find it very surprising that multiple people spontaneously at the same time in response to something that came out of nowhere on my live stream would all say the same thing and have it be false. Like, and I think I remember the usernames. They're pretty respectable longtime viewers. So I don't know what to think at this point. Everyone's like, Des just made it up and he has no proof. Well, there's my proof, so shut the hell up. It's mostly just whining. Well, where are they then? I want to see them. Well, you know, people are afraid of Wizards, so oh well. So few people did it. You're never going to see them. Oh well. Get over it, I'm just the messenger. And I've already deleted the live stream, so I can't even privately review the chat to say who it was, so you can go dump on them if they are all somehow magically lying together simultaneously. So thanks for watching, go buy your fat ass mama some tuna, and I will see you guys next video.